What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about the top 5 short squeeze stocks that you need to add to your watch list. So I want to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. Starting off with stock number 5, although not in any particular order, ticker is AHMA, sitting at 15.45. It is up 26% just today alone, and a lot of good volume. Over the last 5 days, up 221. Despite that though, you are seeing a heavy presence of shorts. So 12.48% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 454,000 shares. So this is exactly the type of stock that people love to shout squeeze over because it is heavily shorted and it does have a low float. Cost to borrow average is 338.01%. So that's an annual rate, not a daily rate, just so you are aware. And then short score, higher the number, the higher likelihood of a squeeze happening is 79.52. Quickly going back over here, just so you are aware, this is what they do for company profile. So communication services, advertising, 43 employees, and it is based out of the UAE. So add this stock to your watch list. Moving on to the next stock, you have ticker BQ. Has been trading for less than 1 year. Over the last 1 month though, it is down 50%, but typically I like to choose stocks that have some good pre-existing momentum in the short term. So over the last 5 days, it is up 21.61%. A lot of good information here. This is what they do. So other specialty retail, 158 employees, founded in 2008. It is based out of China, but 16.56% of the free float is being shorted, works to be 519,000 shares. So again, no different than what I mentioned. Kind of heavily shorted, low float. Market loves that type of stuff. Cost to borrow average is 282.76. Short score, 80.29. So in general, shorts have been extremely active with this stock. You can see a high of about 90%, and that was done on November the 4th. Returned a lot, and it looks like they're starting to double down. So shorts are very active with the stock, and with some good pre-existing momentum. Again, this is why you need to add this one to your watch list. Aside from that, you also do see the market really starting to heat up because of today's somewhat negative ADP data. So now the market is starting to really take seriously a 25 basis point cut. So the market seems to be going through some level of FOMO right now. So definitely a good time for a lot of these stocks that are heavily shorted. So moving on to the next one, ticker is SYM, sitting at 72.91. It is up today alone 9.32%. Over the last 1 year, up 185%. I actually posted this on my Patreon as a solid buy yesterday at $67. And so just today alone, that's a pretty good kind of swing trade, but I do feel a little bit higher highs is potential, of course, for this stock, but nonetheless, in case you are curious, this is what they do for company profile. So industrial machinery and supplies and components, 2,000 employees based out of the States. Right now, 13.99% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 12.4 million shares overall being shorted. Interestingly enough though, shorts have been returning a lot over pretty much the majority of 2025. So at one point, short interest was almost about 21%. So shorts have really returned a lot since pretty much May. Short score, 72.2 out of 100. DTC is 5.28 days. So the higher the number, the higher the magnitude of a potential squeeze. And so that does factor in the average volume in comparison to number of shares being shorted. One thing as well, just to bring up, is that there is about 400,000 shares available to be shorted. So sometimes with stocks with limited supply, you could be seeing some buying from big players. And so of course that would add even more potential momentum to the stock. So add this one to your watch list. Moving on to stock number 4, ticker is SNBR, sitting at 670. Over the last 1 year, hasn't done that great. It is down 59.27. Over the last 1 month though, it is up 24.07, and then over the last 5 days, up 41.6. So as I mentioned, meets that criteria, does have a lot of good momentum. On a side note, based on the quantitative data from Seeking Alpha right here, it does show the valuation as A-. So again, there's a lot of craziness and manipulation that does happen in the broader market, but if you do look at a lot of the quantitative data, this is a pretty good deal for this stock. Aside from that, this is it. So her home furnishing retail, 3,200 employees, founded in 1987, based out of the States. 42.95% of the free float is being shorted though, works out to be 7.06 million shares. Cost to borrow average kind of on the low end, 1.45. Shorts have really started to double down. So right now we are actually at the all-time high short interest for this stock. And I don't always like to wear the tinfoil hat and squeeze and shout like mother of all short squeeze and whatever else, but there is right now 6.16 million shares on loan, but yet 7.06 being shorted. So there is more shares being shorted than on loan. So something sketchy is happening behind the scenes. DTC sitting at 10.97 days. So that also does signal that shorts are very overextended and potentially as well, naked shorting is happening as well. Short score 81.4 out of 100, and then through IBKR you see roughly around 15,000 shares. So you could potentially be seeing some buying going into the next couple of trading days. And then last but not least, you have Beyond Meat. I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with this stock, but I don't think anyone could argue that this has really proven itself in the past that it can squeeze many times, even most recently back in October when it had that very epic run. It is at the time of doing this video sitting at $1.23 over the last 1 year, down 74%, give or take. Over the last 5 days, it is up 23.86. In case you do not know, this is what they do for company profile. So packaged foods and meats. I wouldn't really call it meats, I guess fake meat, but 754 employees, founded in 2008. 23.41% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 103 million shares overall being shorted. Cost to borrow average 6.41%. 1.23 million shares are being increased today alone, so shorts are very active with this stock. Short score 67.9, and then through IBKR roughly around 65,000 shares. So you can kind of see shorts are throwing everything they have at it, only because early this morning there was roughly around 9.2 million shares overall being shorted, and that did drop to 100,000. So of course shorts are using that all up. So let me know your general thoughts on these stocks. Is there any other squeeze plays that you feel could really move higher? Let me know your general thoughts and throw some tickers in the description below. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon. If you're looking for some solid day trades, swing trades, pop over there, take a look. Put out numerous day trades every single day and many swing trades, including Beyond Meat when I called it at 65 cents, set a target of $6. And even as I just mentioned about this stock right here, ticker SYM, this one is a solid 9% kind of swing trade just today alone. So let me know your viewpoint on that. And then with all that, you guys have a good rest of the day.